Imagine your wife looking you dead in the eye, smirking and saying, "This ring is cheap," then throwing it straight down the toilet like it meant nothing. That's exactly what my wife did. But what she didn't know was that the real price she'd pay for that one act of disrespect would cost her everything she valued, her comfort, her pride, and her so called freedom. And the revenge? Let's just say it was cleaner, colder, and far more satisfying than she could ever imagine. It all started on a quiet Sunday morning. I had just finished making breakfast, pancakes, her favorite, when she stormed into the kitchen with that "I'm better than this" look. She'd been acting strange for weeks, distant, glued to her phone, dressing up just to go shopping. I tried to ignore it at first, thinking maybe it was stress. But that morning, she made sure to destroy that illusion completely. She sat down, didn't touch her food, and out of nowhere said, "You know what? This marriage feels cheap, like this ring you gave me." I froze. That ring wasn't just a piece of jewelry, it was a symbol of the life we built from nothing. I'd saved for months to buy it when I had almost nothing in my bank account. I laughed softly, trying to calm the tension. "Cheap? It's gold, Emma. I gave you that when we had nothing. It meant something." She looked me dead in the eyes, smirked, and said, "Exactly. It reminds me of when you were broke." Then, in one smooth motion, she stood up, walked to the bathroom, and flushed the ring down the toilet. The sound of that flush, it was like the final nail in the coffin. She walked out with her chin high and said, "Don't look at me like that. You'll never be more than average." Then she left, to meet friends, as she claimed. But that was the day I stopped being the man who begged for respect. That night, she didn't come home. I didn't text. I didn't call. Instead, I opened my laptop and began digging. I logged into our shared cloud storage, then her phone account. Within an hour, I found messages, dozens of them, between her and a man named Ryan. The texts were bold. She'd been seeing him for months. Dinner dates, hotel bookings, even pictures. The same woman who called me average was sneaking around behind my back with someone who couldn't even spell her name right in his texts. I didn't lose my temper. Instead, I smiled, because she'd given me all the tools I needed to end this game the smart way. The next morning, while she was at work, I visited the bank, pulled all our joint funds into a separate account, every penny that legally belonged to me. Then I met with a locksmith and changed every lock in the house. By the time she came back that night, suitcase in hand, she couldn't even open the door. She started banging on it, yelling, "Open the door! What's wrong with you?" I opened the door just a crack, enough for her to see me standing there calmly. "You flushed your ring," I said quietly. "So I flushed you out of my life." She tried to force her way in, shouting about how I was overreacting, that she didn't mean it. But I stayed calm, handed her a small envelope. Inside was a copy of the divorce papers and printouts of her messages with Ryan. Her face went pale. "You planned this?" she stammered. I smiled faintly. "No, you did." She broke down on the porch, crying, begging for forgiveness, saying she just needed attention. But I didn't budge. I told her the truth. I didn't hate her. I pitied her. She traded loyalty for cheap thrills and lost everything that truly mattered. 2 days later, I had her things packed and delivered to her parents' house. I also contacted HR at her office anonymously and shared proof of her relationship with a coworker, her dear Ryan. He was fired within a week. And her? She tried calling, texting, apologizing, even showing up at my workplace once. But I didn't respond. Silence was my revenge. A few months later, I heard she was struggling. Ryan had dumped her, she lost her job, and her parents refused to support her after learning what she'd done. Meanwhile, my life changed completely. I focused on myself, started a business, got in shape, and learned to smile again without faking it. One day, I walked past a jewelry store. I stopped, looked at a simple gold ring in the display, and smiled. Not because I missed her, but because that same cheap ring she mocked became the reason I found my worth again. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone, it's about showing them that they never had the power to destroy you in the first place. If you liked the video, please subscribe and turn on notifications.